Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the live stream. It's your boy Tokyo Stoner. Today we're going to be talking about the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the idea of, did Square Enix lie about what the Final Fantasy VII Remake was? And yeah, let's get into it. So, was the marketing fake? I believe it was, like, as we're getting into it. Oh yeah, this is probably going to contain spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, make sure you get out of here, come back later or whatever, subscribe, all of that good shit so you find your way back. But yeah, the marketing was fake. Straight, the marketing was completely fake. Like, I'm not a journalist. I don't go out of my way like researching 101 articles, but I'm into games. I spend a lot of time watching like gaming channels, checking out articles and shit like that. And I see myself as in the know. And the way I understood it, this game was being marketed as a faithful retelling of the original story, fleshed out, right? Because we're wondering, all right, why is it Midgar only? You're saying it's Midgar only because we've retold the story faithfully. We've so faithfully retold it and embellished on the original story to make the original story that much more impactful. Right? That was the way it was being portrayed to me. Like, we've made this Midgar only so that we can make it even more impactful and blah blah blah. Right? I was worried they were going to fill it with filler, which they did slightly, but as well as filling it with filler, they did something even worse. They filled it with fucking Kingdom Hearts bullshit, time travel, alternate timelines. Maybe it's the same timeline, but they're seeing visions of the future and they're gonna change that whatever the fuck you added, that's not embellishing anything. None of that embellishes anything. The whispers are not embellished because the whispers are not present in the original. I remember before the game came out, there were theory videos and people talking about, oh, maybe the whispers are the ancients that you see in the original game. Maybe the whispers are like the reunion guys. No, the whispers are an entirely new concept forced into the game to allow them to make the characters fight destiny, defeat destiny, and then restart the lore of the universe, right? I mean, they could potentially retcon Zack, but I mean, it even looks like they've brought Zack back to life, like Zack's been resurrected by the heroes defeating the Whispers, which is ridiculous, because Zack's death is a core fucking element of the original game. Without Zack's death, Cloud doesn't go on the journey to become who he's meant to be. And the Buster Sword loses all significance. Like, alright, the marketing was fake. That's how I believe. I want to see, what you say in the comments or whatever. Like, every point I make, drop in the comments and you lot chat. I want to start a discussion. I'll be replying to everyone. Like, I really want to talk about this game because I feel like Square Enix have really fucked us over, man. Like, I paid £80 for this. My pre-order got cancelled, so I had to buy it from a reseller. Like, or my partner bought it for me on a reseller for like over £100, right? And I don't mind spending that shit on something like this, but if you're gonna sell me a reboot, tell me it's a reboot. Like, anyway, on to the next point. The entire story is retconned. Yeah, the entire story's been retconned. So you're telling me that this is a faithful retelling. You've retconned the entire game. So the thing that I've purchased is not what you've sold to me. You've told, look, let me show you the fucking thing, bro. I don't fuck around, right? This is the fucking game, bro. Yeah, this is the fucking game. 3 discs. Oh shit, can't even get that shit in the cam. Look, 1 motherfucker, 2 free. Yeah, 3 discs. You gave us 2 discs this time round. And it's not fucking jack shit in the fucking game. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's like, do you get what I'm saying? So, you probably could have done it. You could have done it. You could have made it happen, but you didn't make it happen. Instead, you gave us Midgar only so that you could do that defeat destiny shit at the end. And my idea is that the whole thing is about money. Because if you make it Midgar only, that means you've got the entire rest of the story to explore. So it wasn't Midgar only for our benefit, so you could flesh it out and break it down. It was Midgar only for the sake of being able to make as many products as possible, right? And that's why the game feels so drawn out. Because a lot of the time when you're playing it, you're getting into it like, all right, Midgar only, let's go. And most of the game feels like filler and is drawn out. And then you realize, oh, So the game didn't even want to be Midgar only. You can feel it when you're playing it. They forced it to be Midgar only. Because by doing this whole defeat Destiny timeline bullshit, you're now able to make 10, 20, 30 Final Fantasy VII games. Because the universe has been changed. Even Sephiroth at the beginning of the game, approaching Cloud, or not at the beginning, at the end of this, but what's the beginning of the saga, Sephiroth approaches Cloud and asks for his help. What does that open the door to? And that's why I feel like they're trying to turn Final Fantasy VII into like an ongoing saga, like One Piece or Naruto, or just something that never ends. Because now what's the real threat? If Sephiroth wants to be Cloud's friend, who's the real threat now? Who needs to be defeated? What the fuck is going on? Do you get what I'm saying? Are they just going to keep this going forever? Anyway, having the entire story retconned is a complete just slap in the face. And it's just like, bro, did you just lie to me? Like, I'm from the fucking ends, bro. You get what I'm saying? You see around here, yeah, like, you don't pull up on someone and lie to them and sell them a bunch of fake shit. You'll get fucked up, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to end well for you. So the fact that Square Enix pulled up, promoted me this thing, and I bought it and paid it, played the whole game. I played the entire fucking thing. And in like the last 1 or 2 hours, they were like, surprise, motherfucker. Like, bro, that's not right. I already had lost faith in Square Enix completely, and this was because the trailers and the demo and everything was so tight. I was like, cool, let's roll. I got faith again, and they just dashed it. All right. Next point. Yeah, the original game is acknowledged and dismissed as a bad timeline. Whoa. Now this is a heavy point, bro. Like, again, like I said, you've marketed. Remember this video? Did Square Enix lie? Were they lying? When they marketed this game to me, when I was going out to buy this game and I was excited, I was being told, raw, original storyline. I mean, not original, sorry. Faithful retelling of the original game, right? I think having the game be rebooted or changed is not even the problem. If they had said in the beginning, like, yo, this game is a complete reboot, like, you know, we're changing everything. Cool, I'll go into it like banging. This is a completely new story featuring the Final Fantasy characters. How fucking hype. I'm super hyped. This is lit, right? But the fact that at the end of the game, when you're fighting the final, these whispers, yeah, if you're not familiar, the ghosts in the game are called whispers, and they represent a desire to keep the story the same as the original. That's what the whispers represent. The whispers are trying to keep the storyline the same. So the whispers are basically like fans who want to see the same story. At the end of the game, you defeat the whispers, right, and say fuck the old story, like Luke Skywalker throwing the lightsaber off the cliff. Instead, it's fucking Sephiroth taking the game and throwing it in the fucking furnace. It's like, the fuck. But yeah, the whispers show you visions of the future, and at the end of the original game, when you've saved the world and everything's at peace, there's a cutscene of Red 13 running like down like this road, yeah. And that's meant to be the cutscene at the end of the game. Like, yeah, motherfucker, we did it. The world's saved. And they show you that cutscene in this game, right? And they're all like, what the fuck was that flashback, right? And Red 13 says, that's a vision of the future if we fail, or some shit like that. Bro, you acknowledge the final cutscene of the original game. You acknowledge it, that it exists. And then you say, that's the bad timeline. That's not the real timeline. That's wrong. Bro, are you fucking taking the absolute piss? Are you fucking smacked? I'm getting upset now because I'm like, are you fucking serious? You told me this was the fucking retelling of the original game. Faithful. Fleshed out. And at the end of the game, you show me cutscenes of the game that I love from a child, right? And then you say, that's a bad timeline. That's the shit. That's the shit one. That's the shit one. We don't want that one. We want this new shit. And then I'm forced to kill the fucking energy that wants to make the game the same. So I have to basically kill my own hype, right? Like, what is this, bro? Are you serious? Are you fucking serious for £100? Anyway, what's the next point? Yeah, heavy theme of changing destiny. We kind of covered that already. But yeah, the heavy themes of changing destiny in the story are outrageous. Because why is the story based on changing destiny when the whole point is that you're meant to be retelling the original story? What's the fucking line in the game? We're on a train or some shit, and the train can only go one fucking way, like the tracks that it's on. They even talk about that in the fucking original game. They're like, we're on a fucking track and we're going somewhere, and we can't stop until we get there. So you're taking core themes of the game and breaking them. You're like, fuck the train, fuck the track, we're gonna fucking flip it up and go over here on some fligaboo shit. What the fuck, man? Anyway, next point. It didn't require an entire game to explain it was a reboot. 1,000,000%. It didn't require an entire game to explain it was a reboot. It just required Square Enix not to lie about what the game was. If Square Enix didn't lie and they just said straight up, this is a complete new story in the Final Fantasy VII universe, it wouldn't be a problem. Everyone would know what they're going into. But you made us play an entire game under the pretense, right, that this was a retelling of the original. I played this entire game like, yo, this is a retelling of the original, just to get to the end and get kicked in the face when the game's like, nah, fuck the original, fuck that shit. Here's a giant Heartless for a final boss, and yeah, Zack's alive, we're changing the fucking whole shit, bro. Let's roll. Maybe Aerith won't even die. Bro, it looks like Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse didn't even fucking die. So the entire first game, for me, has no weight. The whole weight of Midgar is that Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge died, motherfucker. That was the whole thing. They got killed. The plate got dropped. We rescued Aerith, and then we left, right? We were like, fuck this. We need to go and save the world. Like, taking away Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge's death from the game makes this entire game basically have no meaning. What happened in this game? I guess it does have a meaning. It has a new meaning, which is that we've defeated Destiny and changed Destiny. But that's absolutely ridiculous because no one paid for that shit. No one wanted that shit. No one gives a fuck. We wanted to see Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge fucking roll out like heroes, die like G's, and become the inspiration to fucking push Avalanche across the world to save the whole fucking thing. In the original game, we're still Avalanche when we're at the Northern Crater fighting Sephiroth at the end of the game. Why is there a whole fucking army of Avalanche now? Anyway. It definitely didn't require an entire game to explain it was a reboot. No, it didn't. It literally could have been explained in one sentence. When you were promoting the game, they could have just said, hey guys, we're not, take Remake out the title. Just take Remake out the title, because you've done a bunch of Final Fantasy VII spin-off games. Take Remake out the title and just say, this is a Final Fantasy VII game, blah, 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 blah. Because of the way they've done it, it's fucked, because it feels like a what-if storyline, because it's meant to take place at the same time as the original. But they could have just done either an entirely new game, like Final Fantasy 16. They could have done a Final Fantasy 7 2, where this is a legit Advent Children sequel, right? Where it's like taking place in a new fucking situation. Because then when you add characters like Roch, it's not going to feel so ridiculous. Because it's going to be a new fucking chapter. This is the same chapter that we know and love, just fucked up and upside down and back to front. Alright, next point. Feels like we were lied to and revealed at the last minute. Yeah, see, I mentioned that earlier as well when I was upset. But it's real shit, bro. Like, I played this game for like 50 hours. You're going to spend 50 hours in a game, right? And get to the end of it. And do all the side quests, do everything. Because, you know, Final Fantasy VII, your favorite game of all time. You love this game. So you're not really enjoying it. The remake so much. There's bits that you really enjoy. And there's bits that you really don't like. But you're struggling through. And you get to the end of the game and they tell you that the game you love is shit. And that fucking Zack's like, nah, ridiculous. So yeah, we were lied to. At the last minute as well. At the last minute. Like, final boss endgame shit. Yo, Water Serpent, what you saying, bro? No, nothing, man. I'm just doing a bunch of reaction videos to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got a bunch lined up. So yeah, I'm just banging out this one. The one we're on right now. Did Square Enix lie about the Final Fantasy VII Remake? If you go on YouTube, you'll be able to pull the video back and watch from the beginning. But yeah, alright, let me get on to the next point. Let me keep this shit tight. Next point. Unless they change course or the new shit is insanely good, I'm not interested. Straight. So look, they could, like, because of the way they did it with Zack, right? I feel, and a lot of other people feel from what I've seen, the game is heavily implying that Zack is alive again, right? We might have got it wrong. And what I'm saying is that it's left a little bit open in that he walks off into the rain at the end. So they could still have it in lore that Zack is dead. Do you get what I'm saying? But whether he is dead or not, that's yet to be seen. We're never going to know if Zack's dead or not until the next game comes out. And my point is, they might see the player reaction and acknowledge that everyone is so frustrated with the concept of Zack coming back to life and them fucking up the lore that they might just cancel it and just be like, no, you know, that's never what we meant. Zack is still... If they fucking completely go back on that and they forget about the Whispers don't show up in any more of the fucking games, and they basically keep it very true to the original. If they do that, I might come back. I won't buy the second one up front. I have to wait till it drops. But maybe if they keep it on track by like the third or the fourth one, if they really fucking sort their shit out, then I might come back and buy it. Do you get what I'm saying? But if they don't do that, right? Fucking, if they keep their goofy shit going on, they keep it looped up in this fucking weird fantasy thing where characters are coming back to life. I mean, they still got Jesse Biggs and Wedge are alive. Doesn't make any sense anyway, right? But yeah, if they change course completely, they come out and basically like apologize, and they're just like, sorry guys, we fucked you up, we didn't mean to lie to you, you know, we're gonna fix it moving forward, then okay, cool, I'll start to rock with it, right? What was it? Yeah, and again, they could go with this what if storyline, but it has to be the best shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, if they make some of the best, most insane shit I've ever seen in my life, cool, I'll play it. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm not convinced they can pull that out the hat. Alright, next point. Yeah, to dismiss the original as a bad timeline goes against everything they said the original would be. And I'm pretty sure we covered that earlier, but yeah, exactly that though. Exactly that. Like, when you're marketing something to me as this is the faithful retelling of the game you know and love, right? And then you actually, it's not like you just rebooted it. In the middle of your reboot, you acknowledge cutscenes from the original game. You actually put them, like scenes from Advent Children and stuff that's meant to be from the original game. You put them in this new game and you acknowledge them as the bad timeline. First of all, the concept that you've introduced fucking timelines and time travel in the first place is ridiculous. It has no place in Final Fantasy VII. Time travel and timelines and whatever the fuck is ridiculous. That's just... Keep that shit in Kingdom Hearts, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Kingdom Hearts is a fucking really dope game. You ruined it with Kingdom Hearts 3, but Kingdom Hearts is dope as fuck. So keep your time travel shit in there, or put it in Verum Rex. But why is there time travel in the new Final Fantasy? And on top of that, not just being as disrespectful as to add time travel to the fucking work, but you didn't just add time travel, you acknowledged the original game and said it was the bad timeline. What were you thinking? Like, why would anyone... What? This game is seen as one of the greatest games of all time. Motherfuckers argue that shit for years. They say this is one of the greatest games of all time. A whole bunch of people tell you this is the greatest game of all time. And it's only because the other motherfuckers that say it's one of it, right, that you couldn't say it is. But this is like top 5, motherfucker, right, of all time. And you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking change the whole thing because we can do it better in 2020 with these new age graphics and Cloud's hair. Bro, fuck off, man. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Last point, I'm pretty sure we're on to the last points now. The Whispers are insulting to the player. The Whispers are insulting to the player because they're insulting on multiple levels. The Whispers, the ghost that is, if you don't know, the Whispers insult the player first and foremost because they fuck the entire storyline up, because there's no such thing as Whispers in the original, and they play such a major role in the storyline. So first of all, the Whispers are insulting from the get-go. And I'm sure most players just tolerated the Whispers. I tolerated the Whispers the whole way through the game. I was just like, I'll tolerate this fucking anime bullshit. It's cool. I love Final Fantasy. I'll tolerate it. And at the end, they transform into a final boss and you kill them and then you realize what they've changed. And the fact that the Whispers feel like they're meant to represent the fan base. That's what it feels like. The Whispers are like, the Whispers' desire is to have the game plot, like the storyline, stay the same. That's my desire. When you marketed it to us, that's what we all thought we were getting. So that was all of our desires. All of our desires were that We want to see the original story faithfully retold. And that's what the Whispers want. And the Whispers are ugly, soulless, no personality, ghosts from the past? Bro, you're pimping your bullshit game off of nostalgia so that you can flip us a live service fucking nostalgia Final Fantasy 7 hype with a new game every 2 years, talking about, and then you're making fucking references to us being ghosts for clinging on to the past, and then killing those ghosts. You make us kill that shit. So in the game, you make us basically kill the game we wanted. The Whispers represent the desire to see the actual Final Fantasy 7 remake, the original story retold. That's what they represent. And at the end of the game, you kill them. So you kill the remake that we all want to see in the game. I just felt like it was insulting. It was insulting and disrespectful to fucking plug some shit like that into the game, especially when it was unnecessary. If you could have just said beforehand, this game's a reboot. You don't need to have Whispers in there, and you don't need to waste the game, because this game just feels like a trailer for another game, like all No More games do. All No More games feel like trailers for the next game, and fucking hell, bro, it's unnecessary. Why? Anyway, I was losing my train of thought, but yeah, fucking whack. Whispers, stupid bullshit, pointless. Last point, disingenuous to new players also. Wow, this is a great point to end on, because it's a good point. Now look, like I know I've had people that have never played the original game, people that are a bit younger than me, etc, etc. They never played the original, but they're into it. They love the characters, they've watched Advent Children, they love the atmosphere, the vibe. They've heard the legend. They've heard the legend of the fucking best game, the greatest RPG of all time, the one that blew PlayStation up and made PlayStation one of the most poppin' selling shit of, like, they've heard the fucking stories, bro. They heard the legends of the Final Fantasy 7 game, and they've never played it. Cause if you don't have that, if you haven't played it back, if I play that shit all the time, right? Cause I grew up with it, I love it. But if you didn't have that connection with it at the time, trying to play that shit now might fuck you up. The graphics, some of the shit is like, it's old as fuck. Do you get what I'm saying? It's super old. It still holds up in my opinion, but it's old as fuck. So the newer generation have never really had a chance to fuck with it like that. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm sure some people have, because some people go back and experience older things. Like some people like to listen to older music because they can appreciate it, but not everyone, right? Now this remake was meant to be for everyone. This was meant to be like for me to share with my kids and shit. Like, yo, this is the game that I grew up on. Because it's not just like any other game. You might think I'm wigging out. It's not like a fucking... Most games have meaningless storylines and etc, etc. This game has a very powerful storyline, and it sticks with you your entire life, man. I only found out a few months ago, the writer, one of the key writers, his mum passed away, right? Before they started writing the game. And he worked that into the storyline. So all the characters dying and the heroes having to deal with this theme of loss, that's a central fucking theme in the game, bro. That's a central theme. The idea of dealing with loss. So when you take that away by throwing in some Kingdom Hearts bullshit where you fight giant fucking space ghost monsters and then everybody comes back to life at the end, so no sacrifices mean anything, you're fucking the game up and you're destroying the fucking core of what the game is, to the point that it makes me not want to play it. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not interested in the next one. Like, because it's almost like they're pimping nostalgia. It's almost like they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna we're gonna dress it up real pretty, right? Like the food on the table. It's like shit with syrup on it. It's like, you can dress it up as good as you want, right? But I'm not gonna fucking sit here and spend all this money and play all these games and spend all these hundreds of hours of my life playing some shit just because Cloud's in it in HD. If it's shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't play Dirge of Cerberus, and I found out years later it was shit. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't need to, like, I'm not just gonna buy it just because it has the Final Fantasy 7 stamp on it. Do you get what I'm saying? I'd rather play the original. But again, I think I've gone off track. What I wanted to say is disingenuous to new players, is in all of these players that heard the legacy and heard the legend, when they come to this game expecting to play like the remake of one of the greatest, if not the greatest games of all time, and they get this fucking pile of bullshit in their face, bro, they're gonna be thinking we were all smoking crack or we were all on acid. They'll be like, what the fuck were you guys talking about in the 90s, bro? This shit's whack. And I wouldn't blame them, because this shit is fucking whack. But yeah, man, it's disingenuous. It's disingenuous to new players, because we all know what we wanted and we know what we paid for, and you fucked us over and you sold us a dream. And it's completely disingenuous to new players who have no real idea. If they haven't watched the playthrough or played it themselves, they have no idea what to expect from Final Fantasy VII. And you fucked them over because you've given them this pile of shit and told them that this is the greatest game of all time, potentially. The retelling of it. And they're probably going to play this thinking, oh my God, I finally get to get in on the... Imagine kids that got in on like Final Fantasy 15 or 13 and never went back to play 7. And they're thinking, oh my God, I finally get to play 7. And they turn it on and power it on and they play this fucking pile of shit. Bro, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. All spectacle, no substance. Anyway, that was every point in this video. And yeah, I think we're going back to the main title, bringing it back. Did Square Enix lie about the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Was the marketing fake? I think it was. I feel like it was. After playing it, I feel lied to. And like I said, some of my friends have never played it before, and they're really upset as well after speaking to me and finding out, and also just after looking around and seeing it and checking it and figuring out how much has been changed. It's not just returning players that are upset. I know new players that are upset because they didn't want to see a bunch of Kingdom Hearts bullshit. They wanted to see the original retold. I'm sure there's people that like it. I'm sure there's a bunch of fucking, you know, people that really enjoy this game, and hats off to them. There are parts of it that are enjoyable, but you can't escape the elephant in the room that this is not what they told us it was going to be. Right? So, yeah, Square Enix lied outright. And, I mean, even the other day, I was wondering if I'd be able to get away with a refund off this shit. I wouldn't apply for it anyway, because I got the fucking Steelbook, and it's like, at this point, the packaging's better than the game, so, you know? But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in some countries you could probably apply for a refund off of this, because it's not what it says it is on the tin. They said they put remake in the title, told you it was a remake. Remake, as some people are interpreting it, remake actually means that the timeline has been remade. And yeah, fuck Square Enix. Anyway, guys, I'm out. I'm going to leave you with some music for the outro, and I'll be back on in a minute talking about another angle. Anyway, peace. Nothing but money on my mind. She say she love me, love is blind. She ride it up and down and then rewind. When we fuck, it gets better every time. I got 2 bad bitches by my side. I tell my ops don't even try. Anytime I lift, I let it fly. Come down and put 2 spirits in the sky. Hit your block and put some spirits on the floor. Niggas know I got a lot, but I need more. Nowadays, all my guap is kept offshore. Stash box, I got a couple keys of raw. Whoa, the weed is Arabian, burning it down like a Sabian. I'm coming down to the stadium, rolling with angels and aliens. There's only real ones in my radius. Everyone here know my alias. I'm coming down to the stadiums, rolling with angels and aliens. She take it straight to the face, laughing all of the way to the bank. Pardon, I take it straight to the face, pull up and parking. Jump out the spaceship, step over your carcass. When you look around, you see killers and carnage. My niggas is Martians, yeah, we live and die by the stardom. Even when we're in the darkness, you know we stay lit regardless. All of your bitches, they love me. All of your hatred is harmless. Only the gods can judge me, yeah. Even when we're in the darkness, you know we stay lit regardless. All of your bitches, they love me. All of your hating is harmless.